Hey, good morning, everybody. It is cold, and I hesitate to say that because this is about as warm as it's going to be for a good while. 40 degrees looking out right now. We have some clouds in the area, and the initial kind of surge of the cooler air has come in. It's obviously going to get a lot colder, and I'm going to take you through everything. We're going to talk about it. I have no idea about schools. Now, the way I lean, just kind of knowing what's going to happen, or at least I say I know what's going to happen, I have a pretty good idea. I would think there's definitely a strong chance they would be canceled. We have winter weather advisories throughout the entire area now, and I'm going to show you why I think we're going to see these issues. Now, our main issue, again, not going to be the power outages. I don't think we see heavy enough precipitation, even though winds are now going to gust up to about 20. I just don't see us getting enough of a load onto those power lines to cause problems. Now, we could see some limbs coming down, so that could produce at least some isolated power outages. And it's 37 up in Winfield right now. You can see definitely temperatures are stratified from north to south, cold to warmer. 50 in Opelousas, 51 in Kinder. That cold front has come through most of the area, but it has not really impacted those southern parishes as much because it's not as deep of cold air just yet. And today that's going to kind of waffle around down to our south. And then as that front sinks through, we're going to see that deeper cold air come in, and we're going to see some big time cold. You can see it's snowing already up in southern Kansas and Oklahoma City. The pink is winter storm warnings. The purple, winter weather advisories that go almost to New Orleans down to Corpus Christi. I mean, this shows you how cold it is, or how cold it's going to be. A lot of snow. We have snow squall warnings going on to the north. A very, very wintry look for the entire country. Now, looking closer to home here, this is what we have for winter weather alerts. The areas up along I-20 are under a winter storm warning where it looks like we could see snow, sleet, freezing rain, everything. Winter storm watches for Catahoula and Concordia. I think those will be converted to winter weather advisories later today. And the rest of the state, apart from New Orleans and down here around, Buras and those areas, Venice, where we go fishing out of, they're not under the advisory. So if you want to escape the winter weather, head down there where it's still going to be really cold. So winter weather advisories for light freezing rain in our area. I think it's mainly a freezing rain event. I think any sort of snow stays well to the north. I can't rule out some sleet in the northern half of the area, but mostly, again, freezing rain. For today, we're up in the mid-40s, partly to mostly cloudy skies, just kind of waiting on things here. Now, this model brought the front just a little bit further through, so we're starting off cooler, but you see the general idea. That model shows that it's 63 in Lafayette at 3 o'clock, 28 in Shreveport. Eventually, this thing gets pushed all the way through the area, and we're going to see that big cold come on down. And look at tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, 29 degrees, and through the day, oh, ouch. That's the problem right there. If you get light freezing rain and it's 32, you'll get a little ice on the bushes and the trees and things like that. When you're at 24, that's freezing on pretty much anything. I mean, even the surface streets that have some warmth underneath them. So, I'm going to show you a really cool map that actually the Barron provides for us here in a little bit. And it's going to show road temperatures forecasted and all that kind of stuff. But look at this. So, will we have school Tuesday morning? I think we can handle 17 degrees. The problem is we're going to have those icy bridges and overpasses. So, if we do get things to fall tomorrow, which we should know by, about 6 o'clock what has fallen, 6 p.m. So if we get that to fall, if we get that freezing rain and even some sleet to fall, and we see that we have icy bridges, obviously it's not melting overnight on Monday night into Tuesday. Severe storms? No, we don't get that when it's in the teens. We have some storms up in the northeast. That's actually tied to some colder stuff, so some thunder snow possible. And not thunder snow in Miami, though they could see a few rumbles of thunder, hear a few. I guess you don't see a few rumbles of thunder, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's what we have on your Futurecast. We have this is going to show you kind of a smattering of precipitation, and it's just going to keep coming over. So there's going to be these little pockets, I think, where we get a little burst here, a little burst there. I don't foresee this being something where it just rains or freezing rains for 10, 12 hours. But there's about a 10 to 12 hour window. You can see here at 6 a.m. below freezing rain in the area. And then by noon, still just kind of spotty across the area, more filling in back here to the northwest. And then that comes through by 6 p.m. So it's not continuous. It looks like we're going to see about a 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain equivalent, liquid that falls from the sky. Not all of that accumulates, but being that we are going to be quite cold as this falls, I do think most of it does. does. So around 1/10 of an inch of ice accretion is likely. Bridges and overpasses, if this happens, if we get that much, it's going to be nasty out there. So, we talk about, oh, people in the South don't know how to drive in this and everything. And well, you know what? You guys up north have all your salt trucks and sand trucks and all the stuff to melt it. We don't have that. So we're just going to have to deal with what Mother Nature gives us. And your future ice total map shows you that we're going to get dealt some ice. And as soon as 2 a.m. here in Alexandria, looks like we'll already see some accumulation from Leesville to Natchitoches by about 2 a.m. And then that overspreads most of the area by noon. Again, just a general idea here. And then you can see some little streaks of heavier amounts just kind of mixed in there. And freezing rain accumulation, at least a little bit, gets all the way down to New Orleans, to Houma. I mean, come on, Grand Isle? No, that's crazy. Okay, so we've kind of filled things in a little bit. Looks like the heaviest stuff is going to be just north, but most of the area sees at least 1/10 of an inch of liquid per what we're seeing right now. So that's going to be enough to cause some pretty major problems on the roads, not enough to cause widespread power outages, though, again, I can't rule out a few. Now, this is the thing I was talking about, your future road temperatures. This is going to give us an idea of what's going to happen over the next 48 hours, and it's really interesting to watch this because tomorrow, when we get to, let's say, 6 in the morning, 36 degree, and this isn't exact, so let's not take this as absolute here, but you can see while we'll be in the 20s, the roads, the surface streets are going to be warmer than that, in the mid-30s, so we shouldn't see issues just yet. Up in Natchitoches, you might. Shreveport, Monroe, yes, you will, and it's going to stay that way throughout most of the day, but watch as this cold air comes in, those road temperatures, they dip, and we're below freezing quickly after sunset, so Monday around 7 o'clock, road temperatures dip below freezing, and then they go way down overnight. So overnight lows in the teens, that means road temperatures in the teens to 20s. So yes, anything that is frozen there, eventually we will see that go away, but I think we're going to see, by about 10:30, 34 degree road temperatures, still could be frosty on the bridges. So I think Tuesday is going to be nasty. And when I say eventually it's going to go away, of course it's eventually going to go away. But what I mean there is it could melt or it could sublimate, where we actually go from a solid to a gas. A little chemistry lesson, I guess, for you. So that eventually this will go away on Tuesday, regardless, as we get some sunshine out there to help us melt it, and then we also just kind of sublimate and evaporate some of that stuff out into the air. Winter storm impacts for tomorrow, limited to minor. That is basically saying on the amounts they're going to stay low enough to where we don't see widespread power interruptions, and the impact on the roadways should be fairly brief. I think by late Tuesday, we're going to see some major improvements here. And on Tuesday, still some limited impacts with those minor impacts off to the north, but that is a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. And it's going to be nasty. It's going to be cold. Let's take a look and see what we have on the 7-day forecast. And I do apologize. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing. There we go. I apologize because I did not update this in time. So there was a little blip this morning where we had a different forecast. It was from the National Weather Service, and God bless them. They're fantastic at what they do. But I think we're going to see higher rain chances or higher freezing rain chances on Monday. So I took that up to 70%, and 30 degrees for a high could be generous. Some of these high-res models keep us in the mid-20s all day. It's going to be slick out there should we see any precipitation, which it looks increasingly likely that we will. In fact, 70% feels a little low to me, but I wanted to kind of gradually get this up there, and I certainly don't want to pull the 100% card because that gets scary for all of us. 33 degrees on Tuesday after a start around 18. Tuesday night is when we just drop down to 13. It's going to be cold. Wind chills both mornings close to 0. 0 to 5. So you might not get below 0, but trust me, you're not going to notice the difference. 54 on Thursday. Look, we start at freezing there. I think we're above freezing for that entire event, but it's something we could watch, at the onset, maybe just a little brief burst of sleet or something. I doubt that happens. It's not something that's going to cause major problems, but it's the South, so if you see something like that, it's pretty cool. And then we go right back into another kind of deep freeze here with hard freezes possible by next weekend, highs in the 40s and lows near 20. Now, what happens beyond this? I like to go a little further sometimes. And I think after our 7-day forecast here, we warm up to where we're not going to see frozen precipitation, but it looks like a couple of rounds of heavy rain are going to be possible for January 22nd to the 28th, and temperatures again around normal, but we're grabbing onto that part where we have below normal temperatures to begin, and then it warms up later on in the forecast period. So, I'm not going to get into if there's going to be severe weather or not, but it looks like we're transitioning away from the crazy, crazy cold of winter and right back into kind of some storms and heavy rainfall. Although, again, don't know about the severe stuff just yet. Let me go through real quick and see if we have any, if I'm forgetting anything here. Sometimes I get questions. I'm like, man, I should have answered that. Got lots of good mornings. Good morning to all of you. I'm sorry I can't reply to all that. I think I got this. All right, man. I am going to get going here. I don't know the schedule for the rest of the day. I know I'm going to church here shortly. I'm going to come home after I eat lunch. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to look at models all day long. That's all there is to do right now is look at all this crazy weather stuff, and we will be talking about it. So I don't know if I'll probably go live later this afternoon again just to answer any questions and talk about what we've seen in the morning runs and the early afternoon stuff, so we can talk about that a little bit. But thanks for tuning in. I will see you back here later, and if nothing else, I'll be putting text updates. We're going to keep you informed, so all that stuff. All right, I'll see you later.